Welcome to my lovely IHP community and the 5D Collective. We are a bunch of mystics and spiritual and mindfully living, loving people, securely attached, non-traumatized, so you can use your left and right, just so we're sure that the right people are here. Being yourself, very easy, straightforward, which is why mindfulness practices with mindset skills that expand are useful to you, and that is where the inner growth mindset is as well. But also, we don't harbor resentment, anger, fear in a way of let me go casting stones. Okay, awesome. So that's where when you're expanding your light body, you don't lose people. When you're expanding beyond the rainbow body, you also don't lose people, because those who lose people are still living in a body that weighs them down, and they do pseudo aliveness and disregard their mental, emotional, and physical mastery with good therapists like Pat Ogden or Dr. Bezel van der Kolk or Patrick Tian or Terry Real. Okay, so when somebody disregards that they are offline in a dorsal vagal and they don't care to get themselves healthy, they're obviously not mystics in the idea of me, because you're just playing a role with a paused self. And so I know that I got a person who needs, again, a therapist to get out of trauma time and also to expand the window of tolerance, because that will be what has. So when you go out and your dissociative disorder is present and you're talking to me about your clairs, I'm not taking you seriously. I mean, I'll hear what you have to say, but I know that you don't care about yourself. So that means I got a person who doesn't know how to follow directions, which is the only way you're going to help more people is by you being able to put that mask on yourself first. We have an episode yesterday, Aspire to be a Mystic, that actually is yourself anchored in ventral energy. That's when you're going to help humanity, because otherwise you're not even half of the human you could be yet. You're nothing. You're just a defective version of yourself. And it's not because you're defective. You're actively in blame, shame, fault, revenge with half a brain working. I don't need a person who does cognitive dissonance, black and white thinking, doesn't know how to use their prefrontal, is in their brainstem, uses certainty of anger to make what? Superficial nothingness. It's very clear who's going to excel in our herd, and those are the people who know objectively how to handle their 14-month-old thoughts and feelings and emotions and say, yes, I know that they're not true, and I don't fall for effective realism, because I would be an idiot to fall for it. Again, intelligence at IHP is you don't inspire human potential by saying intelligence means I did it all by myself. I didn't do anything by myself. I can't self-regulate by myself. I'm a mammal. And I won't be with a bear, although I can say I hope to see more empowered men out there and women, and we are of all types and shapes and forms and sizes, and therefore we do master the dance of life, because it is a party with people who live, love, laugh, and don't cast stones. No characterological distinctions, no monsters. We master the dance of life as a party, again, of love with a diverse collective who can collaborate with intelligence, not get offended. So comedians don't offend us, people don't offend us. We're not in our, We do enjoy intellect with emotional, again, physical mastery. So intelligence, there's no little sword fights. That's for limited consciousness groups of people that come together. We master the dance of life as, again, a party of yin-yang balance in the infinity of consciousness expanding. And then also mastering the dance of life is a party of masculine, feminine, and feminine, masculine, creating in unison. That's together. We're not concerned with the whole patriarch, matriarch. We're all here together. Again, singing Kumbaya, yes, because emotional mastery means you're anchored in ventral energy. So we sing Kumbaya because discernment means that I have wise, good judgment with an equanimous, loving stance, my ventral vagal state. So I don't get pissy in my pants, even as we talk about completely opposing political views, because I don't get offended. Anybody? Okay, awesome. So that's where mastery can only be. Master, the Zen master is not a master of anything. He just stands for the people who don't want to be in their higher frequency and prefer pseudo-aliveness, and that their body still weighs them down because, again, they didn't go to Janina Fisher to get their window tolerance expanded for affect. So it's shot out the roof, and there you go. And then they also have this definition. Where was it? I found that, remember I told you I have a person who told me this thing about what it is, the Buddhism thing. Yes, that this one truth it is that Buddhism means that this life, this very existence, yes, that it's suffering. And I said no, and then they're saying if you said no, then you're not, on a journey of Buddhism. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not on a journey of Buddhism because I'm a Christian Catholic and I was raised with Jesus and he suffered for my sins. So really, it would feel very, very disrespectful for me to say I suffer. I mean, I don't suffer, but that's because, again, higher self, securely attached, non-traumatized people don't suffer emotions. We know how to do emotions. Aliveness, it's grounded in aliveness versus 4D is not grounded, and anyway they're not grounded and they don't want to be. So like I said, when somebody's telling you the stars and death is easier, you're like, no, because that means I'm not here with my fellow human beings to make a difference, and therefore I wouldn't be helping humans to evolve, consciousness to expand, our brothers and sisters to continue moving forward. You know what I mean? So, masculine, our thoughts meet with our feminine, our right, and our feminine meets with our masculine like this, and that's because it's an integrated brain with a whole self that you own. So your personality doesn't define you, and it doesn't go rigid or chaotic. That's why an empowered feminine can recognize exactly who she is from when she was a child, because I got stories, to when I was a teenager, because I got more stories, and then to when I'm a grown-up. And you know what? There are still the same things that irritate me. But I'm more flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable. So that's why I don't get very, very, very angry when people lie to me anymore. I simply have Kali come in, Shiva, and Krishna Lila, and remind myself, Maria, God told you not to judge human suffering as pieces of wastes of your time. And I'm choosing to change words as we speak. And I'm trying, God, I'm trying. So Akash source, Anima Mundi, doesn't tell me, oh yes, when they describe to you something that looks pretty much like a butterfly going through torture, remember please, that is their low frequency body still in the very space that their child was at when there was 1-year-old. Disorganized attachment is not pretty to see, nor is fragmented self, nor are people who enmesh and don't have any sense of self, whatever, and they still don't know aliveness, yet they have more certificates than you'll ever have. But again, please, Maria, with Anima Mundi, I'm a channeler and a downloader and an Akashic record reader. So my mind works really great, my left and my right, with my brain integrated. It's a flow state that you have when you're an empowered feminine or an empowered masculine. So mastering, again, the dance of life is a party of love that takes flight with the truth of a functional child adult. Welcome all. This is the 5D community. Mastering the dance of life is a party of love and fear frequency, because fear doesn't go away, that come together to create beyond the basics. We're not going to be the silverbacks, although I know people are afraid that one day we won't have electricity anymore. If it ever happened, I'm not afraid. I know we will be fine, because, as long as we have air, we breathe. As long as we have water, let me drink. As long as we have food, I ate. There you go. But we'll go beyond the basics. And that's what's happened as we've evolved, decentralizing of the self, reorganizing ourselves, moving beyond loving one person to more than one, and then beyond. And so when we hear idiots speaking, we know who they are. Again, half-brained people are idiots to me, not to them. So mastering the dance of life is a party of love and fear frequency that come together to create, again, beyond the basics. Mastering the dance of life is a party of love, expansion, and creation with the right people. There is discernment. That's why it's the right people. And you know what I love about empowered masculine? They know how to pick them. I do too. I'm empowered feminine, and that's why it's amazing. So divine counterparts, divine, don't use it in the word of us, divinity. That's really egoic. But you can only overflow, what was it, Sadhguru? You can only have divinity descend if you overflow in your humanity. Guess who doesn't overflow in their humanity? When they don't own their sense of self. Core, narrative, relational, soul self. So they do not own all their child parts. If you don't own any of your nervous system and yourself, but you just got a story. I know a 2-year-old with a story, and then they dress up like princesses and princes, and I like to dress up too, but again, empowered men and women and theys, we can spot them. What was it, Sam Harris? Our cherishable beliefs are falsifiable. Yes, we know that, and that's why we're grounded in reality, and we're not confused, because what is it? Integrated brains. Left and right work together, default mode network downregulated, not scanning me or you to get this, and therefore I'm hearing. I know what data is, quantitative and qualitative. I know the analysis. Thank you so much. So when you meet smart ones, you know who they are. When you meet storytellers, you know who they are. And that's why we have fun here, because again, Mystic Mentor, content creator, podcast host for those who want to be dealing with unknowns, unwanteds, and unexpecteds and more with their humanity. So a human being will coexist with unknowns, unexpecteds, unwanteds, and more in life and relationships when you're leading with an open heart, which is what being yourself is all about, and you're going with the flow, again, which is where those main modules of the Inner Growth Mindset program lead you. You use the Inner Growth Mindset to explore thoughts and emotions from an open heart and experience life and relationships as moments and situations that will fill you with good stress and your higher inner frequency, because by being yourself mindfully, whether you're a mystic, spiritual, or mindful atheist sciences person, is going to have focused attention in that state of awareness. You're not afraid. And your personality patterns don't get rigid or chaotic, because your kind intention leads with your compassion, which Terry Real would call your self-acceptance, and Patrick Tian, your love of self. And so you don't use your childhood trauma brain, you use your grown-up brain. And that's how the higher self works for a person who doesn't lose her 3-year-old and who then continues to say, excuse me. I do know that to be you mindfully means you'll be flawed, but I know you'll have integrity, because healthy self-worth people, they walk like an Egyptian, anchored in ventral energy. So when people don't enjoy us, it's okay, because we know that that means that they didn't get attachment, security, and that their wounds are healable if they want from therapy, not with us, and that we are not going to project back because of self-regulation again. So you are master of life. The mastering of this dance of life, again, it is a party of love, and it takes flight to the skies with the truth of your inner eternal child that is your guide, and that makes you the artist of your garden with the thoughts that come up. And in the silence of that, which is the skies with the moon, but it's your body, okay? So you're not afraid, and your emotions can come up, sensations, images, behaviors, affects, meanings. You're not going to throw them. You explore them within yourself. And as the astronaut of your own emotions, or your own little star, even though I don't do the astronaut, but I use that one because we had some cards that gave me these messages for us. And as the astronaut of your emotions and thoughts, who, as you overflow in the alchemy of victory, you expand continuously, consciously, as the creator and manifester of your life as you. Yourself, your true self, your heart, your body, the self of you, as use your human name, okay? So your mind, your brain, you own, and your relational field. And so you create a restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating life, and you take it seriously to be anchored in your ventral vagal state, or anchored in ventral energy, however it goes. You don't say, I want it. That's for the people who don't actively understand. It's like a muscle. So when you go to work out, and I'm not a great working out, I'm going to say I'm very sloppy. I don't like physical activity. I get chimed every now and then, and I keep it enough to where I know I'm healthy. But see, again, I know that when somebody is getting to support me, that it's normal that they're going to give me a way to be balanced, which is where we have all fun with the rainbow of colors, but healthy self-worth people have fun anchored in ventral energy, with secure attachment, with non-traumatization, because being able to be a person, functional child, adult, is where our leaders are at. The true leaders, not the ones who pretend to be leaders. The pretend ones are, well, they're there for other reasons, and we will be back with something more. I'm going to think about it. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. You'll help the channel grow, and obviously, it's like, share, and subscribe if you want to be yourself for real, not pretend, and with those who also love the love frequency, not the suffering frequency. We do respect our brothers and sisters who want to suffer, but we actively make fun of them because they choose to continue to make it sound like they know what they're talking about. I mean, they like to make fun of us and think that we don't know what we're talking about. Well, we can make fun of them. The difference is we won't pinpoint them, because see, when people are not securely attached and empowered, they like to point fingers, which, if you know what it means, that's bad manners. Shame, blame, fault, revenge points fingers because they actively have to be heard. When you're a 3-year-old who doesn't have to be heard, because you see yourself, you soothe yourself, you're safe, secure, but also you know what God has to say. Hey, who are you? In flesh, right? What is that? A person, yeah, right. So what? They're part of you too, right? Yeah. What do you need to do? Nothing. If they're respecting the law and I'm physically safe, I don't need to do nothing. That's right, Maria. What else? What else? I get to share. I have questions. I have questions. Can I ask you questions? Can I ask you more questions? No, I'm just joking, but that's where a 3-year-old's at. I have a twin. Again, remember, I know intimacy and conflict, so I really don't have the capacity to feel offended. Because again, I can be sensitive, but I'm not really sensitive. I accept that I'm different. And if I bug you enough, I've done that before. Ask my mother all about it, ask my twin all about it. So I've had good practice being Maria. And you can be yourself too, the higher self. It's awesome to be oneself. Functional child adults have a good time with each other because we don't get offended. Seriously, we have the, you're a piece of shit. No, you are. No, you are. You're an asshole. I'm an asshole. And then as you grow up, you continue to be able to do it. While some, you don't do it anymore because you realize, I think they're growing old and cranky and stagnated. So you just remember to, I'm going to recalibrate now. And I think that now the words are starting to be something that might be annoying to them. And so that's a side note, but we will be back with more again. Like I said, have a good one.